Welcome to another edition of the Food Systems Podcast, brought to you by the Forum for the Future of Agriculture. I'm Mark Titterington, and for the next 20 minutes or so I'm going to be talking to Lodovica Freyberg. She is part of her family's citrus business in Sicily, San Giorgio, but more importantly for this podcast, she is a recipient of a diploma of recognition from our Soil and Land Management Award 2025, which we announced at our annual conference earlier this year. Lodovica, a very warm welcome to you.
Thank you very much for having me.
You're most welcome. Great to be have you with us and chatting today. Your families, we were chatting just before we came on air, have been farming the land in Sicily for generations. I'm just interested, particularly your character, who you are. What motivated you to start taking action to try and protect the soil and adapt to what is a changing climate?
I think the biggest influence was that my father always tried to portray to us that we're not here to just exploit the land that we're so lucky to have. We're really here to protect it and take care of it. So I think that always motivated not just me but also my siblings to really take care of our land. And we saw that the situation with the climate has gotten worse and worse over the years, and the soil has been so affected from it that if you don't do something for the soil, then the rest of the farming is just going to go downhill.
So give us a sense of how long ago you took this decision and started, and some of the practices that you've adopted.
We started more or less 3 years ago, but it was really a slow progress, because we didn't sit down and said, okay, we need to make a project and it's going to be like this and this and this. We had a catastrophic flood one year. We had just planted around 3,000 plants, small citrus plants, and the flood was so strong that we lost almost all of them. So we had 100 left from 2,000, and we realized we really needed to do something about the water, because we have a problem that for 6-7 months there's desertification, there's no water whatsoever. And then in 1 or 2 days, we have as much water as we would normally in 1 year. Mm-hmm. So when the water does arrive, we really realize that we need to try to catch it and be able to use it for when there is a period of drought. So it was really a moment of, okay, we need to start in some way catching the water. And then we realized as we were doing the project, we started implementing more and more little things. And then it just kind of happened, the whole project. So it was really adding little things to the farm and then realizing actually we have quite a good idea of trying to catch this water, reuse it in the irrigation system, but also try to get the water to go back into the soil, so to have the groundwater level go up and replenish every year. So it was really a long journey.
And I love talking to people like you about their journeys of how they got there. For some people, it's going back to a family farm, recognizing where the state of the soil is. For you, was it really that climatic event, the flood, that really concentrated the mind, or do you think that you were edging towards that anyway?
I mean, I think both. We went organic 20 years ago, which in Sicily was very, very new. And my father was always trying to be as sustainable, and I think the biggest thing he always tried to portray to us as well was to work together with nature and not work against it. Mm-hmm. So when we realized we had this flooding problem, we didn't try to make huge blocks so that the water doesn't come into the farm. We really tried to use our ecosystem and use our environment to make the farm better. So it was really working together with nature.
I want to come back to you a little bit later on and ask you about what some of your customers are thinking about, what you've done on the land, the quality of the citrus fruit, what they might be seeing. But I do want to talk to you about that point you mentioned about desertification, a growing concern across Sicily, across Europe. We can see the change in the climate. I mean, we're sat here in July of 2025, and outside it's about 33, 34 degrees. I mean, it really feels like it's here. tell us a bit how you think what you've done on the land, not just the last 3 years, the last 20 years, as you said, since you went organic. How's that helping to make your land and your business more resilient and productive, do you think?
I think with the organic, we saw a difference immediately. Mm-hmm. So I remember being little, and the farm you didn't really see a lot of wildlife. Mm-hmm. You didn't see a lot of insects, butterflies flying around. And now, since we went organic, there's so much wildlife, there's so much, you can really feel that the ecosystem is healthy. Yeah. And I think that for us was the biggest change, and also the biggest motivation to keep going in this direction, to see that it makes sense to be sustainable and to work with your land and for your land.
Yeah. Now, one of the things, as I said, that the forum has worked on a lot over the last 2 years is this financing the transition. How do you get downstream customers of farmers and growers, and if you're in the US or anywhere else, ranchers, livestock producers? Have you noticed an increased level of engagement from your customers that you're selling your citrus fruit to? Are they appreciating more what you're doing, and I suppose, are they paying you any more?
Yeah, so it was a journey to see how to navigate the whole trying to sell our product, but also trying to sell what we stand for. And I think actually there my brother was a bit the pioneer, because he was the one trying to export the fruit and really trying to speak to the customers, to show them a bit what the business is about, that we're a family and that we really care about our land and we care about our product, and we also care about their opinion. So whenever someone maybe had something to say and they were curious and they asked us about the farm, we were always very, very happy to show them and to explain. And we also always said, if you want to come, if you're ever in Sicily and you want to come and see the farm, you're very welcome to see it, and then we can show you around. And I think my brother there was really good with the contact with the customers, but also when people come to the farm, I think you can see in my father his passion for the farm, and I think that helps a lot.
Yeah. Well, look, we're setting a studio here in Brussels. Go on, take us to your farm in Sicily. Just describe a little bit what it's probably looking like right now.
Okay, actually we were really lucky because last week it rained a lot, right, which for us is amazing, especially before the summer. So we are, I don't know if you know a little bit from in Sicily, there's Catania, which is on the Etna, so on the volcano, and then there's a plain, so it's completely flat. And then on the other side there's hills. So we are exactly at the end of the plain and at the beginning of the hills. Right. So normally you would come from Catania and the plain is very dry. And as you approach the farm, it becomes greener and greener and greener, and you start seeing trees. And because the climate is also a little bit different, like I said, it rained at hours, but 10 kilometers further away there was nothing. Right. So I think we also have a little bit of luck with the position of the hills, that we get more rain than other regions in Sicily. Yeah. So you can see as you approach, it becomes greener and greener, and for me it's the most amazing thing to come home and see the nature. That's
wonderful. I was given, if you ever go into agro-tourismo, I thought we might give people a little bit of a sense of your estate. As you said, you have been on a journey, right? And when you look back at what you've done so far, what's a message that you'd share with other farmers or landowners, land managers who are thinking about starting a similar kind of journey and they haven't jumped in yet?
I would say start as soon as possible, but also don't think that you need to have a completely planned, perfect project, because we didn't have that. We just started because we had the need for it, and then the project kind of developed. And also by speaking to people, you get more and more ideas. I also last week I was speaking to someone about it, and then they gave me another idea, and so now maybe we're gonna start implementing that. So it's really, yeah, it's a journey, and I don't know if I'm ever gonna say, okay, the project has ended. I feel like there's always gonna be improvements that we can do. And so I think if you're trying to do a project like this, don't think that you need everything to be perfectly planned from the beginning.
I mean, it sounds like, and it has been a fascinating journey that you've been on. The final question I probably have for you today is, if I may say so, you're a young person in farming, and as we know in agriculture, the demographics are not necessarily in our favour. What is it that gives you passion and inspiration and a belief that working in agriculture and one part of it or another is for you and inspires you and makes you want to get out of bed in the morning and throw yourself into it?
I think it's the changes that you see when you care for your land. That I feel like as much as you give to the land, it will give back to you. And it's the best motivation, because if you see that what you do actually brings fruits, then why wouldn't you continue doing it?
Yeah. Well, we can all touch and taste it, and I feel like you've taken us on our journey in the short time that we've had together today. Just listening to you, I feel like I'm already on your farm, and I hope one day to be able to visit.
Yeah, you should come.
Well, you make those offers, I will certainly take you up on them. Lodovica, it's been just wonderful talking to you. Many congratulations again on the Diploma of Recognition in the Soil and Land Management Award. It's such an important part of what we do in the forum, but it only works because we get great people and submissions like the one that we got from you. So thank you so much indeed for joining us and sharing us with your story.
Thank you for having me.
You're most welcome. Well, you've been listening to another edition of the Food Systems Podcast, brought to you by the Forum for the Future of Agriculture. Join us again next time.